Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Ayo, the mirror don't lie. If you want the truth, don't close your eyes.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to 647. This is 6 stories for 7 a.m. This is for people commuting to work. This is for people getting ready to go. It's the 6 things you need to know about, and I'm giving it to you straight. So the first thing is, if you're a commuter, you need to know this. Gas pump prices are slowly moving down. That's what we want to see. The AAA says the national average is $3.17 and heading down. And Trump says in 2 states, it's already down to $1.98. So that's the kind of thing we want to hear about. That's an indicator. You'll never hear from the legacy media saying that it's the end of the world with Donald Trump. He's already getting great results at 100 days. So how about some economic information? Here's a good one. Renting is 60% cheaper now than buying in the top 100 U.S. cities. Let me say it again. Renting is 60% cheaper than buying in the top 100 U.S. cities. Here's another good indicator. Oil is down. The price per barrel is going down, right? European oil at 64.25, Texas premium at 60.42. That's what we want. Want our oil cheaper so more people buy it. It's down $1.61 a barrel in Texas over the last month. Great news. April jobs report, it was all fantastic news for Trump in his first 100 days, and the media reported it like it was the end of the world. So here's some points from that report. Foreign-born workers, their numbers are down by 410,000 March to April. Think about that. Foreign-born workers down 410,000 March to April. Employed U.S. workers up by 1.04 million. And employment growth beat the numbers that the experts said. They all said Trump has to meet these numbers. A lot of economists are lefties, so they make a number that's very hard for Trump to get to, and he got a higher number than they came up with. So rah, rah, and don't listen to these clowns when they say this is all bad. It's all good, and it's all moving in the right direction. 177,000 new jobs added in April, and unemployment held steady at 4.2%. We want that number to go down, but Trump's in transition. And let's just state the facts here. This guy is reorganizing the entire global commercial business network. Whoever would think to do that? But he's doing it. And it's going to roil markets. It's going to upset truckers. It's going to do a lot of things, but in transition. But these numbers are saying we're going in the right direction. So unemployment is holding steady. Good enough right now. 60% of our population is employed. That's up from 59.9% last month. That's not a huge jump, but it's moving in the right direction, and that's what we want to see. Here's another one. People on the couch declined by 343,000 in April to a 3-month low. These are people who just bailed on the job market. I'm not working. I'm just hanging out. 343,000 of them got off the couch, so that's a new 3-month low. And the federal headcount decreased last month by 10,000 jobs. So that's all good. Now, in D.C., what's important in D.C.? You know, there's all the lawfare and all the terrible stuff from Congress, but you probably saw this week that Mike Waltz, who was the head of national security, he got fired by Donald Trump. Why would that happen? Well, they didn't say he was actually fired. He's transitioned out of that job into being the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, which is like an awful job. And that's his punishment. Why did he deserve punishment? Because it turns out he was the guy who allowed that clown from the Atlantic on the signal chat when Hegseth was coordinating the missile strikes on the Houthi colonel who was in charge of the missile firings on ships in the Middle East. So the media, you remember, they tried to make a huge deal out of this and try to get Hegseth fired because he doesn't want us going to war, and the neocons all make huge money. The Uniparty in Congress all makes huge money and kickbacks and donations when we go to war, and your kids get killed and maimed. So we don't care what they want. And Trump said, yeah, it's fake news, and I'm sticking with Pete Hegseth. And so Mike Waltz gets bounced, and who's going to move into that position? Right now, Marco Rubio, who's been doing a fantastic job as Secretary of State, is going to temporarily take it over, but the name at the top of the list right now is Stephen Miller. And Stephen Miller is just a stone cold killer. He is an amazing guy. If you watch his press conferences at the White House, he just tears it up, and he puts that legacy media on their heels because he's ready to go. And he works fantastically with Marco Rubio. So Miller and Marco, for heads of the State Department and for national security, if those two guys are coordinating, we're going to be safer, way safer. So we want Stephen Miller to take that job. All right, end of DC. Now, what was going on overnight over in the Middle East? Unfortunately, that affects us. You may remember that even before Trump became president, Netanyahu came to meet with him, and then he came again. What was he coming to meet? He was coming to say, let's go to war with Iran. And Trump said, yeah, I'm not doing that, okay? I got a lot of things to reorganize here. We're in rough shape. We're basically a bankrupt country, and I'm going to turn that around. And so he sent Netanyahu packing, and then he came back again, even putting more pressure on him. And Trump wasn't so nice to him the second time. He said, look, don't come around here with that. Just beat it. We're not doing that. And so Netanyahu is trying to start that war by himself. Last night, he did 25 bombing runs over Syria. He got the attention of Turkey. They sent their fighters over that airspace. Then Russia saw, they sent 2 fighters to fly around the perimeter of the country. None of these jets engaged one another. But this is Netanyahu basically saying, I'm going to get this war going one way or another. Why? Why does he want that? Because his country hates his guts. And the only way he stays in power is if he gets them engaged in a war. They're not going to change horses midstream in that situation. And so that's what he's trying to do, start a war with Iran. And he's starting it by bombing Syria. So pay attention to it, because the neocons will get very excited about it. They're the ones who are against Hegseth, who doesn't want to go to war. Trump doesn't want to go to war, and most of his cabinet is opposed to it, and certainly Tulsi Gabbard is. So there's a lot of powerful people who are trying to knock out Trump's presidency and his cabinet. And don't pay attention to this stuff or speak out against it, because the military numbers of people joining the military are way up. They're at historic highs. That gets the neocons really excited, because they make money when we go to war. But what's the reality across America? Your kids end up going there and getting maimed and killed. And we've spent enough blood and treasure over in the Middle East. We don't need any more of it. All right, 5th story. You only get 6. City of Jacksonville, they got caught keeping an illegal gun registry of people entering government buildings. It's legal to enter government buildings with a concealed carry. So the mayor basically had the security guards stop people who had concealed carry, get their name, all their contact information, and what kind of gun they were carrying. And she kept that registry secretly. And now the city may be liable for up to a $5 million civil penalty for violating that law. Why is that important to us? Because we have no liberty unless we can defend it. We have no First Amendment unless we can defend it with the Second. All right? And the founders knew that government always wants to get bigger. It's like power lifters. There's this big itis bodybuilder thing. They want to get bigger and bigger and bigger because they get richer when they get bigger. They get more control over your life when they get bigger. But they can't really do anything as long as there's millions of guns in the United States. That's an uncontrolled variable for them. And the founders knew it would be a deterrent. So what happens? All these people who go into politics, basically narcissists who want power and celebrity and wealth, they tend to lean left and they want those guns taken away. So this mayor decided to do it on her own, and she's getting caught, and I don't think it's going to end well. Last story. Last night, Trump became the first president ever asked to come to the University of Alabama and give the commencement address. And so the place was packed, and Trump seemed to love the venue and love talking to young people. And he's got so many young people working for him in Washington right now. It's absolutely amazing. And so he said, I want to share 4 things with you that I learned so far in my career. He said, number 1, you can have great success at a very young age. And then he told him the story how in his mid-20s, he did the Hyatt Hotel in the middle of Manhattan. That was his first major project, and it set him up, and he learned a lot, and he made a lot, and he just said it was an absolutely amazing experience. Then he pointed out Steve Jobs started Apple when he was 21. Walt Disney started Disney when he was 21. James Madison, James Monroe, Alexander Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson. There's 3 presidents in that group. They were all prominent by the time they were 25. So very important. He says, don't waste your youth. Don't buy the narrative from Netflix and the media that your 20s is just a time to be a goofball. He's saying, get out there and pursue opportunities. And next thing, point 2, love what you do. You can't find that out unless you hunt for it, unless you try things. He says, if you love what you do, you'll never work a day in your life. He says, I love real estate and I love negotiating deals, and I do it all the time because I love doing it. I find it fun. So he's saying, love what you do. Don't just accept any job. Go find it while you're in your 20s and you have the freedom to experiment and make mistakes, but get out there and find the thing that you're good at that you love to do. Number 3, think big. He says, just as hard to solve a small problem or do a smaller project as it is a big problem or a big project. And he went on to say, I know so many people who are so smart, but they constantly are trying to risk manage everything down to the smallest risk, and they never make it big because of that. He says, you're going to do the same amount of work. So go ahead. If you see a big opportunity, organize that and go for it. And his final thing is work hard and never, ever stop. Find the thing you love to do and work hard at it. Never stop. Don't be thinking about yourself as well, I get to work at 9 and I come back at 5 and I don't think anything about my work the rest of the day. That's not going to cut it. You need to find something that you love to do. It needs to be a passion, and you need to work hard at it and never stop doing it. And he said, the harder you work, the luckier you get. That is your 6 for 7. Thanks very much. Have a great day at work. God bless you.
Today, I'm a prophet and a guru and the rap police. You in the belly of the beats, masterpiece. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Hey yo, the mirror don't lie. Hey yo, the mirror don't lie. Look at me, take a picture, it'll last longer. The mirror on the wall say I'm getting stronger. Hey yo, the mirror don't lie. If you want the truth, don't close your eyes.